Hello again. It's your boy Fang. Coming out of that second old Star Wars game I played in a row, I figured it was time to shake things up and go back to something aviation related. So, I'm doing something I've not done before with IL-2, and that is playing one of the scripted campaigns. Whereas the campaigns I've done in the past have been using their procedurally generated system of missions and all that, weighted, of course, depending on what you're flying and where. This one is a scripted campaign, so each mission is curated in the way that a traditional campaign in a single player game would be. So I've decided to do the first of. I had 5 options, looks like a sixth will be coming out later this year. I'm doing 10 Days of Autumn, and that seems pretty appropriate because we're just about in autumn. Last couple days of August is where we are. So, 10 Days of Autumn. After the surrounding. Well, screwed up on the first line, eh? Cool. After surrounding the armies of the Western and Reserve fronts at Viazama, German command came to the conclusion that the enemy had no major forces in the Moscow vector that could be used to oppose the further advance of Army Group Center. It was decided to turn the units of the 3rd Panzer Group and the Ninth Army to the north in the direction of Rzhev and Kalinin. On the 14th of October 1941, the formations of the 3rd Panzer Group of General Reinhard burst into Kalinin virtually unopposed and captured the most important bridges over the Volga. Aircraft, Aircraft provided great support for ground forces, with bombing runs on roads and train routes, as well as nearby airfields and residential areas. You gotta target those high danger residential areas, eh? The fires that raged from October 12th on resulted in complete loss of control, panic, and mass riots, which made capturing the city easier. Relying on the continued successful advance of German forces towards Torzhsk and Vizhny Volochyok, the command of the 8th Air Corps made a rather hasty decision to relocate some aircraft units to recently occupied airfields in the area of Kalinin. Among them was the 1st Squadron of Jagdgeschwader 52 that had just arrived at the Eastern Front. Presumably, we're in the 1st Squadron of Jagdgeschwader 52, so let's carry on. First mission through the rain. Oh dear. You want me to read this whole thing? Absolutely not. I think I will just read the mission briefing part. Codename Hawk 1. Landing aerodrome, codename Maple. 19th of October 1941. Time 17 hours, so 5:56 in the afternoon/evening. Relocate yourself as part of a flight from Duzhino Aerodrome to Migalovo Aerodrome. You are the leader, i.e., the flight leader. Land on direct approach due to your low fuel. Okay, very cool. Force 3 BF-109 F2s. I like the F2. Armament standard. Remaining fuel 40 liters. Okay, cool, cool. Starts in the air. Follow course 45 along the Volga River. Bed to Afanasevo. From there, route is shown on your flight map. Flight height 350 meters, speed 450 kph. Mission and goal landing. Very good. I believe we still have the custom rules that I've been running on from last time. Yes. Yes. Yep, I like it. Okay, let's give it a go. Yeah, I can explain the custom rule set I'm running under. I think I've done it in the past, but it's fairly easy to explain. I have a map and I have a homing compass, um, which does waypoint homing. That's actually not historically inaccurate, although it would have to be fitted under the options, and some particular aircraft have them and some don't. I just have them in all aircraft. What's not on is any of the automation options that disable problems with your aircraft. However, the engine is largely automated because I don't have a setup that is particularly expansive. And I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours knowing the particularities of the engine. I have to do that with the aircraft as it is. So, we've got a route up to an airfield southwest of Kalinin. Should not be a problem. Yeah, that's a short flight. That's like, well, about 6 minutes is what they estimate. Without modification. Let's see the paint job, man. We gotta pick one. At least I think we should pick one. A cool one. See if there's anything that really jumps out. Oh, that's a bloody cool one. Here we go. Done. Alrighty, let's get this started. Oh boy, I don't want to be at 100% throttle. I think around 60 is probably where I want to be. Very cool. Low ceiling, obviously. It's got that damn headrest. And by that I mean the armored shield behind the pilot. That is getting removed in my actual missions. Cool. So, in case you're wondering when I was talking about the homing compass thing, if you look in the bottom left of the screen, we have our heading, which is hovering around 43 degrees. And it has a wind indicator of 2 meters per second from the east heading west. The little yellow, I guess, V icon that the arrow is pointing to, that is the heading of my next waypoint. At least I assume that's how it works, because it's not really actually explained to me. Never was. I also appreciate one of the things I have in my custom options, having the airspeed and altitude and weapon status in metric on the HUD, because I speak not enough German to be reading this cockpit. And admittedly, they are using metric in it, which is a sensible thing to do. Good Germans. But beyond that, I'm happy to have the most critical information in front of me. Try to find our fuel. Yeah, there's our fuel. It's the... oh, cool, shooting. It's that thing, the completely yellow bar. It's giving a rough indication of our total fuel load. And our total fuel load is not great. Maybe I want to stay away from that furious fusillade over there. It looks like 20mm cannon or something. How close are we to the front? Yeah, okay, we're very close to the front line. That explains that. Man, I don't want to run out of fuel. Given that that's the case, maybe I will throttle down slightly. Again, it would have been helpful for me to look up what optimum cruise setting is. It's probably not 55. Maybe... I think I might be on the money with 60, actually. What's going on over there? Oh, I see. Looks like the front line is, roughly speaking, the river, and there's some shooting going on. Well, I'll be back just as soon as I'm fueled up. Kind of concerning to send me to an airfield with 40 liters of fuel. If they're saying no go around because of fuel concerns, that's... I don't know about that, guys. I'm a bit off my heading, so I'll make a correction. Thank you, map. Again, I would be comfortable just doing all the navigation with the radio compass, but it's... part of the problem, I think, with it is that the objective points aren't always clear in this game. At least in my impression of it. A lot of the procedurally generated missions in the campaigns I have played previously, they've been somewhat confusing, to me anyway. Looks like we're about halfway through the flight. Should be a nice, gentle affair. Well, that shooting back there is behind us. Wouldn't it be highly awkward if they sent someone up to engage us? I really hope they don't. Because we're running on fumes. Great. Or gunfire up ahead. By the by, this is an appropriate time, I think, now that I'm committed to another series, which has a maximum run of 15 missions. I'm not sure yet if I want to do Iron Man and just, quit the series if I die, but there's a maximum of 15 missions in this campaign. It's curated, as I mentioned. But when it's done, I don't have anything lined up. And so, again, I asked the community, should you wish to make a recommendation for what happens next, I would be very receptive to it. Oh, that bridge is knocked out. Cool. Alright, passing over the guns. Fine, I'll climb. Or at least do some funky evasive things. Not that that's particularly funky. I'll have a look at them. Okay, it's guns on the ground. That's fine. They're not interested in me and I can't blame them. Cool. Well, it's going to be a rainy, foggy landing. We're almost at our final waypoint. I'll start looking out for the airfield. Should be over there. That's not an airfield, it's a big field. Not the one I'm looking for. Fuel reserves? Minimal. Again, there's not, as far as I'm aware, a way of knowing exactly how much fuel you have. Which makes a certain amount of sense, actually, if it just sloshing about in a tank. We're going at roughly the requested airspeed. Let's see if I can have a look behind us without crashing. Yeah, there's our boys. Let's get back to the cockpit. Oh lord. I was curious. I'll not be curious again. Well, we're not going to need the map anymore. We're practically there. Should start looking for the airfield. Alright, let's take down the throttle. Ah, there it is in the distance. Yeah, I can just make out the runway. Or at least what I assume to be the runway. Maybe we do need a map. Yeah, I'm right. That's the runway. Okay, speed's coming down. Yeah, that's the runway. We need to start cutting throttle. It's a flare. Okay. For a second it looked like a tracer coming towards us, because it was growing in size very rapidly. No, that's fine. Alright. Flaps, you don't want the flaps, do you? Okay, well, in that case, if we are not allowed to do a go-around, we're gonna have to start putting our flaps out right now. And gear down, too. Okay. Throttle 25%. It's a nasty little run. Okay. We're over the runway. We're doing big flaps. I haven't landed an airplane in IL-2 in some time. Okay. We're down. Oh. It's a JU-52. Looks like some more 109s over there. What was it, slash? Yes, slash was brake. I was using the War Thunder brake button. Cool. Alrighty. Well, this was nice. A nice little landing.